This video will teach you how to run the weighted average spread test for collateralized loan obligations in Microsoft Excel. I'll keep my use of the keyboard to the maximum and keep my use of the mouse to the minimum to teach you the keyboard shortcuts. Please subscribe to this channel and hit the like button for more great content. Let's get into the video. To open the File Explorer, press Windows key 1 on the keyboard. Arrow over to get to Documents. I'll go to Excel Workbooks. N key, CLO. Gonna open the weighted average spread test, Alt tab to get over, as well as a Word document. Alt F4 to close that. And I'll use Alt tab to get over. Another thing I can show you guys, you can see how I have the ability to hide some of these columns. So to exercise that, Alt A is in Alpha, J is in Juliet. That actually opens it. It's Alt A is in Alpha, H is in Hotel. To close. Close some of the columns we don't necessarily need to see, just to make it a little cleaner. The key difference this time, and I did a video on the CLO weighted average spread test before, is now for the three parts of the indenture given, I'm using the IFS statement to write that in Excel. That's I as in India, F as in Foxtrot, S as in Sierra, as opposed to just the if statement, I as in India, F as in Foxtrot. So let's go to the Word doc. And you can see here, like, this is part I as in India, A as in Alpha of the weighted average spread test. And it goes into this complicated legal language in the indenture, and it defines the aggregate funded spread. You may remember from the previous video that I have on my channel that I wrote this in terms of the if statement, I as in India, F as in Foxtrot, but the IFS statement, I as in India, F as in Foxtrot, S as in Sierra, that is actually more dynamic. So you can see I have it highlighted here. In other words, if the bond, for part I as in India, A as in Alpha, if the bond is in default, or it's a fixed rate bond, or a payment in kind bond, all of those will yield false. If it's a floating rate LIBOR linked bond that's not in default, then its spread is equal to spread base plus the max of either the difference between the index rate and 3-month LIBOR London interbank offered rate, or the floor minus LIBOR 3-month interbank offered rate, London interbank offered rate. The reason why the floor acts as a real option in floating rate loans, the coupon rate can never go below the floor, so that all else equal, that helps convexity be on the side of the lender rather than the borrower. So this is a case of being, for lack of a better word, long volatility. But the floating rate bonds or loans tend to have lower coupon rates than fixed, but they do have these real options that protect you if there's a sharp decline in interest rates in the market. So that's the I as in India, F as in Foxtrot, S as in Sierra if statement. And then for part I as in India, B as in Bravo of the indenture, you can see it here. And once again, I've converted this into the IFS statement. So now if the contract is the principal component of an unfunded delayed drawdown obligation, the Excel statement will write false. If it's a floating rate bond in default, it's also false. If it's a LIBOR-linked bond, it's also false. And if none of the above are true, then part I as in India, B as in Bravo says that the aggregated funded spread for the loan in question is the spread base plus the index rate minus 3-month LIBOR, the 3-month London Interbank Offered Rate. That's what part I as in India, B as in Bravo says. You can see part I as in India, C as in Charlie here. And this is the third and final key component of the indenture as it relates to the aggregate funded spread. I've also written that in the if statement format, but I've made it even more dynamic and robust with the I as in India, F as in Foxtrot, S as in Sierra statement, so you have the ability to do that. So now what this is saying is if the contract, again, is the unfunded, if the loan is the unfunded principal component of a delayed drawdown obligation, the Excel is going to spit out false as the answer. If the coupon type is a fixed type and the bond or the loan in the collateral pool is in default, it's also false. If it has any sort of floor, also false. If it's a LIBOR-linked bond where none of the above are true, then its aggregate funded spread for that loan is coupon minus index rate. And that's it. So you can sort of summarize this by saying this is the way the aggregate funded spread is calculated in the indenture. And you can actually see the formulas here. I'll do Control-Shift, U as in uniform, to make this a little wider so that you can see there's now I as in India, F as in Foxtrot, S as in Sierra statements in here. And this data set is set up as a table in Excel. So you can see Alt, J as in Juliet, T as in Tango, Alt. And I've actually named the table in the upper left corner. I've just called it the contracts table. So this is the final weight. So the sum of the final balance of the contracts is just over 400 million US dollars. Multiply that 404 million by the total spread, and you get a situation, right, where the weighted average spread is the sum product, the sum of the products of the final spreads of each loan plus the final balance divided by the final balance. So in other words, the weighted average spread is just above 4%. It's at close to 410 basis points. And so you multiply the two, right? You multiply cell Alpha India 410 by the weighted average spread cell Alpha Kilo 411. That's how you get 16 million and change, 16.5 million. That's the interest that will go to the underlying. That's available to all tranche holders in order of seniority. So the senior most tranches in the CLO will get the 16 million per year first, or they'll get their portion of that first, and whatever's left over will go to more junior tranche holders. Again, this is the indenture. Alt A is an alpha, J is in Juliet. To unhide the definition of a CLO, if I wanted to hide it, Alt A is an alpha, H is in hotel. To open, Alt A is an alpha, J is in Juliet. And a collateralized loan obligation is a special purpose vehicle, a bankruptcy remote entity that has a collateral pool of loans that it finances by issuing various tranches of debt and equity. This is a highly regulated type of fund, the collateralized loan obligation. And so in the US and in Europe as well, there's a number of rules, and one of them is the CLO has to undergo this weighted average spread test to make sure the senior tranche holders are not being cheated, and make sure there's enough spread to pay the senior tranche holders first. If there's not, then if there's not enough money to pay all tranche holders, the cash flow automatically gets redirected to the senior most tranche holders first, which means the junior tranche holders get wiped out first in bankruptcy, and they're also the last to get paid, but they can earn potentially a higher return. So take this knowledge into the marketplace to be a better investor, better understand the CLO weighted average spread test, and better understand Excel. And remember, just press Alt-Tab to get back and forth between different things you have open. That's another great keyboard shortcut to know. Have a great day. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, leave a comment below, and please buy my books. The links to those will be in the description of this video.